In this video, I'm gonna share a couple of stories that happened to me during general archery elk hunting. One was in Washington and one was in Oregon, and it was just really interesting because I didn't expect a bull to answer back to my bugling in that way. I was hunting elk in Washington. This is general season archery, mid-September, and it was getting late, so I decided to go to a nearby, it was like a small lake or marsh. I was bugling, and then I chuckled, waited for about 5 to 10 minutes and nothing answered, and at this time it's like getting dark real fast. And I decided to just lean back against the tree and just sit in the peace and quietness of the wilderness because I really enjoy it. That's what I do, just to like end the day. Right before that, I just decided to practice my chuckling techniques, and I would just stand and chuckle and like it would echo. Maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, it was just like solid chuckling. No bugles, nothing, just chuckling. And after I was out of breath, I was done. I leaned back against the tree, sat down, and I think I started doing something on my phone, reading the Bible. And now it's dark, completely dark. I can't see 5 yards. And then I hear, this is how it was. This is how it sounded. And a bugle, like 100 yards away, but the bull just inhaled so much air into his lungs, like through his nostrils, and then he just ripped a loud bugle 100 yards from me. I almost jumped up from underneath that tree that I was sitting under, like my heart beating like crazy. And I couldn't believe it because I pretty much gave up on the spot and I was done, I was relaxing. And in the moment when I didn't expect it, a bull actually came in and to my chuckling, and he ripped a loud bugle. What I noticed is if the bull is close by and I would answer, most of the time they would shut up because they have pinned you. They know where you're at. Now they're gonna circle around, get the wind in their face, and come from wherever the wind is. But it was completely dark, so I can't shoot him anymore. I wasn't trying to hunt. I answered him back, and he didn't respond after that. And then I answered him again, and he just didn't respond. But it was crazy because that's probably the loudest bugle I have ever heard in my life. He just inhaled like so much air, like loud, and just rips a bugle and ends it with like 3 chuckles. So that was crazy. My heart was pumping for the rest of the night. And in fact, on the way back from that spot to our trailer, I also heard a cougar screaming. So I keep hearing them. There's more cougars than people think there is. That's the first story. The second story was in Oregon. This was last year. And again, me and my buddy were walking through the forest. It's super thick. You can't see 10 yards in front of you. Just super thick stuff. And we're just bugling as we're coming along, and nothing, no answers. We've been hunting half a day and nothing. We've got nothing, no bugles. We come up to this little rock, and I stand on it. Literally like one rock, and like in all directions. It's just so thick. There's nowhere to stand. So we're both standing on one rock, about like 4 feet wide. I just give one bugle again. I know that anything around me within 500 yards has already heard me all of this time. My last 10 bugles in the last 20 minutes. So they're just not responding, and I don't know why. I gave one bugle and nothing, no answer. And then we just sit down and start eating snacks. 250 yards from us, a bull answers. And he was there all of this time. He and his cows were there. He just never answered us before until we gave him enough time, because we waited like 15 or 17, 20 minutes because I pretty much gave up on the spot again. Same thing like in the first story. After I was done with my session, I just sit down, now I'm chilling, and then a bull answers. We ended up sneaking up on that bull to about 45 yards, and he had a couple of cows with him, but I didn't get a shot. He was pretty smart. The lesson that I have learned from myself is, first, you should always assume that there's elk. So be ready to shoot, be ready to call, be ready to hide behind a bush, things like that. And second, you have to give enough time to the bull to respond, because if you're hiking and you're bugling every 3 minutes or every 5 minutes, you can move 500 yards and the bull hears you, but if he doesn't want to respond, he's not going to respond, or he just hears you move move along and he doesn't want to talk. But if you give one bugle or two bugles and then you give him enough time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, of course that's in a spot where you know there's elk, or a very promising spot, because you gotta cover a lot of ground when you're elk hunting. So the first thing is you gotta be ready for elk, because they are pretty sneaky. They can come very quietly. I've had that happen to me many times when I'm done with my sequence, when I'm getting up from my spot, and then I hear twigs snapping and something running away, and I know it's an elk, because I've had that happen to me when they would sneak around through the bushes and I would spook them, because once they have you pinned, they don't have to talk to you anymore. Once they know your location, they will circle around, get the wind in their nose, because they want to know which bull is this, who are you, and what are you doing in my spot. So the second thing, give them enough time to respond. If you believe that is a very promising location, you can bugle into the canyon and give them 10 minutes. You know, then you can walk another 100 yards, bugle into the canyon, and listen quietly for 10 minutes. So hope this information is going to be useful for you guys. Stay tuned for my next video.